Okay, welcome third graders. We are looking at the 4.3 Comprehension story. And this story is going to be about No Boys Allowed. That's the title there. This is a fiction piece. So that means it is not real, or it could not have taken place, or it did not take place. Whereas last week's story on the totem poles was nonfiction because that was based on a true event or thing. It actually happened. Okay? No boys allowed. So looking at the questions first, that's a good test-taking strategy. Before you read, make a prediction about the story based on the title. No boys allowed. Sounds like it's going to be some kind of girls' club. I'm not sure. Maybe it's a bathroom? the girls and the boys can't go into the girls' bathroom. I don't know. Just right off the bat, no boys allowed. It sounds like a girls' club to me. But, okay, who is the main character in the story? Where does the story take place? What is Vanya building at the beginning of the story? Okay, so I'm just going to choose two of these here. I'm going to do this one here. So who's the main character in the story? We need to do copy QA, which means we copy a part of the question in our answer. The main character, you see I'm just copying right at the question. I'm copying a part of the question into my answer so that it's a good, complete sentence. The main character in the story is... where does the story take place? The story takes place, and I'm not really sure. But look at, I've already prepped my questions there. I'll come back to it too, so if you don't have time to write that down, or you can always pause the video. Okay, no boys allowed. Let's go ahead and read this. See if I can zoom out anymore. No, okay. Vanya clipped the no boys allowed sign onto her fort with a clothespin. She'd been working on it all afternoon. Still, something wasn't quite right. The entrance was just two picnic blankets hanging down from tree branches. They draped together like curtains. Vanya had wanted her fort to have a tunnel for an entrance. She'd searched her garage, attic, and basement for a large empty box, but hadn't found one. Know anyone who recently bought a refrigerator? Vanya asked her dog. Asked her dog? Oh, she's just kind of being funny there. Vanya asked her dog, Lucky. I bet they'd have a big empty box. Lucky looked up at Vanya. Ruff, ruff, he barked, then chased after a yellow butterfly. Wow, Vanya, did you build that? A voice from behind Vanya. Oh my gosh. Wow, Vanya, did you build that? A voice from behind Vanya asked. Vanya turned to see her neighbor, Abraham. He was stopped with his bike on the sidewalk. That fort is so cool. Can I check out the inside? Vanya shook her head firmly. Sorry, no boys allowed. See the sign? That's not fair, Abraham protested. Rules are rules, she told him. I guess I'll go see who is at the playground. Abraham looked sad as he got on his bike. Vanya felt a pang of guilt. She turned around to look at her fort again so she wouldn't have to watch Abraham right away. Want to see inside my fort, Lucky? Vanya asked her dog. Lucky wagged his tail. But as Vanya looked from Lucky to her fort, she realized that her no boys allowed rule had created a big problem. Lucky was a boy. If Abraham couldn't go in, neither could Lucky. Suddenly, her fort didn't seem as much fun. It seemed kind of lonely. Hey, Vanya, called Abraham. I found something you might want. I thought you were headed to the playground, said Vanya. I was. Abraham jumped off his bike, but I overheard you talking about wanting a cardboard box. As I was biking to the playground, I saw Mr. Abood put a big box out at the end of his driveway for recycling to pick up. I came back to get you because it's too big to carry here all by myself. Really? You were going to help me, even with my no boys allowed rule? Vanya asked. Abraham shrugged. There's no rule against being nice, is there? Nope, there isn't. Vanya walked over to the sign hanging from her fort. She ripped off the word no. The sign now read, Boys Allowed. You're welcome in my fort anytime, Abraham said, Vanya. Now let's go get that box. Okay, cute story. Okay, back to the questions. The main character in the story is Vanya. Make sure you put a period at the end. Make sure you're capitalizing the beginning of your sentence too. Where does the story take place? The story takes place... Is she at her house? Yeah, Vanya turned to see her neighbor. He was stopped with his bike on the sidewalk. I guess I'll go see who's at the playground. So I think it largely takes place in front of her house. The story takes place in front of her house. Better make sure. The dog is there. Did you build that? He stopped with his bike on the sidewalk, so I'm pretty sure she can't be in her backyard. And then the neighborhood must just have a playground to it. Okay, so those are the answers for Monday. I chose 2 questions. Now you may have chose 2 other ones. Maybe I should be doing all of them. Anywho, hopefully I chose a couple of that you did, and that helps you with Monday's comprehension homework for 4.3.